Hello. Okay. Sushant. Hello.
Hi, Ovidu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Send
Hassan
me the link
will be
now.
joining in another 5 minutes. Or he will be
Okay.
here by 2:50 because I informed the time as 2:50.
Sushant, I'll be sharing the link now. You all start the video. You all, when they come, you start the video, okay? Because those two teams we have to finish it quickly for them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, man.
Hi guys, I'm Sapna. So I'm currently in my third year of the degree program BA Hons in International Business and Finance offered by the University of West of Scotland. Also, I'm in my second year of the degree program BA Special in Finance offered by University of Sri Jayawardenepura. So initially, when I got to hear about a degree program offering so much of exceptions for professional qualifications like CIMA and ACCA, I honestly didn't hesitate much in joining Broad. So when we started the degree, upon the completion of the 2 years, we were left with other 5 exams of CIMA to complete and get the qualification done. However, this degree has gotten stronger than ever before, offering you the maximum possible exemptions for CIMA. Meaning which, upon the completion of the 2 years, now you will be having only other 3 exams of CIMA to complete. So think about it, how much of an advantageous opportunity that this is going to be for y'all. So you will be completing an academic qualification, which is the degree, and along with that simultaneously you will be completing another professional qualifications like CIMA, which is a world recognized and standard qualification, that also with maximum possible exemptions. So at the end of the 3 years you will become both an academically and professionally qualified person. So free up your time to join the webinar that will be conducted by our academic director to get to know more details about this. So if you guys are willing to join on board, then welcome to the Sri Lanka's first ever multi-qualification, which will offer you the maximum possible exemptions, reaching out to ACC as well. Thank you.
Are both teams present? Can I know if both teams are present?
Devi Balika is present.
Thank you.
S.Thomas is present.
Thank you. Let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. We will now be commencing the debate. Our judges for today's debate will be Mr. Nanthagopalan Aruran, an intermediate year student at Sri Lanka Law College. Ms. Simesha Gajavira, an entrepreneur and researcher. Mr. Hasara Lianege, a senior analyst at Dell. Previously, he was a specialist in corporate strategy at Dialogue Axiata. The motion for today's debate will be, this House believes that the use of artificial intelligence is beneficial to man. I repeat, this House believes that the use of artificial intelligence is beneficial to man. Devi Balika Vidyalaya will propose, while St. Thomas's Preparatory School will oppose today's motion. Each speaker will receive 8 minutes to speak. We kindly request that all speakers stick to the allocated time given. We also request that all speakers keep their cameras on throughout the debate, as the judges will be able to penalize you for not doing so. You may now start the debate. Thank you.
You can see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you are ready.
Okay. Before I start our side of the argument, let me wish a very good afternoon for the educated judge panel and the opposition standing in this platform because of AI itself. I really don't recall why the opposition is debating whether the artificial intelligence has been beneficial or not, while they have receiving much more benefits than an average person. They are in this debate competition because of AI, and I'm pretty sure that all of their researchers against artificial intelligence was through AI. So, nonetheless, as the proposition of today's debate, our motion is to defend this House believes that artificial intelligence is beneficial to man. In this motion, we identify 2 main key terms. First one will be artificial intelligence, which is an intelligence demonstrated by machines used to mimic cognitive functions that associate with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. For examples, we can take Google Maps, chatbots, and face recognition. And the second key term will be beneficial, which generally means resulting in good, favorable, and advantageous manner. And let me elaborate on our motion first. Artificial intelligence started itself in order to benefit humans by stopping the World War II. Uh, World War II was started by Adolf Hitler in Germany, one of the most cruelest and gruesome leaders in world history. He used to use encrypted codes to send messages between his followers. But fortunately for the humanity, a British brilliant cryptographer at that time, Alan Turing, also known as the father of artificial intelligence, used the first AI, Enigma, to decrypt this code and save the humanity. Even though Alan Turing was not really accommodated for his search, but not really being credited for his search, which is artificial intelligence, has never differentiated people under various categories like races and religions and nationalities. And this artificial intelligence has been one of the sole causes for the globalization. It provides justified platform with equal rights, equal responsibilities, and equal resources. It helps to save the human rights of equality and equanimity. By now, we think of Shakespeare as our own, Leonardo da Vinci as our own, and Eddie Chandra as our own. Basically, we think all the humanity as our own. This result was given by AI itself. And not only that, most of the disabled people has been beneficial by it the most, like Stephen Hawking, the greatest scientist in this decade. He used an AI system called Equalizer, which was made by World Plus, to communicate with us through AI. If not, we will not have the black hole theory by now. And one of the Sri Lankan brilliant writers, Shanika Kalharivatovira, who used Google voice recognition for her writing skills. And also, this artificial intelligence has main goals like learning, receiving, and perception. And not only it has made more advanced technologies over the time, but also more advanced humans. The best example we can take is Gary Kasparov. In 1996, Gary Kasparov defeated the AI called Deep Blue. But by 1997, the artificial intelligence has developed so much that it defeated Gary Kasparov. With this evolution in chess sport, now there are much more advanced chess players and much more advanced apps to chess players to practice on or play chess on. With that, let me move on to our side of the argument, how we will be proving that artificial intelligence is not being nothing but beneficial to man. We will be proving under three main categories. First one will be humanity and society. The second one will be health sector and service sector, and third one will be economy and industries. Let me move on to the first argument: humanity and society. We all know that economical and social challenges are a major problem in this society currently. University of Southern California have built AI to calculate socially relevant problems such as homelessness, and it has proven so much efficient that almost 90% of the said area has been getting rid of the social problems it is facing right now. And an AI Stanford is used to analyze satellite images to identify high poverty areas in surrounding environment. And the next point will be cybersecurity, which is used to sort data as high risk and low risk. One of the best examples we can take for this is SIEM, one of the famous companies for security agencies. And also, almost every government in the world use AI for its beneficial purposes. Like China. China uses facial recognition system for mass civilians. Almost every city in China uses this. And in 2019, one of the economical capitals in India, Bengaluru, used the AI system for traffic control. It has proven 85% of efficiency in that year, and it has gotten rid of so many problems within that year, so many traffic problems within that year. And not only that, but government military corporations and government intelligence corporations also use this artificial intelligence. The best example we can take. Accepted, sir.
Before you started the argument, you said that I will give you examples of how AI is nothing but beneficial. Are you saying that there are no disadvantages caused due to AI?
Well, Are there any weapon that has its disadvantages? Every single thing in the world has its disadvantages and advantages as well. But with the AI in if you take AI in modern terms, yes, it has been nothing but beneficial. As we've proven so far, we've given you so many examples. And I believe that it has been nothing but beneficial with the cause of it through the years. Yes. So moving on, as I was talking about the government and military, government uses military corporations and government intelligence corporations through AI. The best example we can take is NSA, which is National Security Agency located in United States of America. In last decade, it has identified 13 bombarding attacks planned on United States of America. But because of the artificial intelligence system it has been successful in not letting these bomb attacks happen in that specific country. Now, what if just think about what would have happened if those 13 bomb attacks were happened? How many human lives would be caused? How many properties will be damaged? And my last point will be sensors. By now, we have sensors to identify various natural disasters from time to time, like earthquakes, tsunami, and floods, and such as. And because of that, lots of human life, lots of properties have been saved throughout the years. I'm pretty sure none of you will disagree about that. And just think about the current terms. We are living in a society that artificial intelligence is essential. We have an e-system in our country right now. We use it for payment, we use it for education, we use it for our health. Like artificial intelligence has been beneficial in making various vaccines such as Pfizer and PCR and antigen. If not, we will be facing a huge crisis on humanity. So, are you still saying that artificial intelligence is hazardous? Therefore, I believe the proposition have made a lot of valid points, and I believe the judicators will stand by the side proposition. Thank you.
If the next speaker is ready, you may begin.
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Panel, as the proposition did not define what artificial intelligence is, I would like to define briefly to you what artificial intelligence is. Panel, artificial intelligence can be categorized into 2 categories. I'll be explaining the first category now and the second category in my argument later. Panel, the first category has 4 types. The first type is reactive machines. Reactive machines are the most basic type of artificial intelligence. Such artificial intelligence systems do not store memories or past experiences for future actions. These machines only focus on scenarios and react on it per possible best section. Google's AlphaGo is an example for reactive machines. IBM's Deep Blue system is an example for reactive machines. Then, the next type is limited memory. Limited memory machines can store past experiences or some data for a short period of time. These machines can use stored data for a limited time period only. Self-driving cars are one of the best examples of limited memory systems. These cars can store recent speed of nearby cars, distance of other cars, speed limits, and other information to navigate the car. The next type is theory of mind. Theory of mind artificial intelligence should understand the human emotions. It can understand the human emotions, people, beliefs, and it is able to interact socially like humans. This type of artificial intelligence machines are still not developed, but researchers are making lots of effort and improvement for developing such an AI machine. The next type of artificial intelligence is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the future of artificial intelligence. These machines are super intelligent. They will have their own standard, and for now they have thought about self-awareness artificial intelligence as smarter than a human mind. Also, self-awareness artificial intelligence does not exist in reality and still is a hypothetical concept. That is the first category of artificial intelligence. Let me move on to my arguments. We have 4 arguments for the house today. The first argument is the algorithmic bias of artificial intelligence. And the second argument is how artificial intelligence is a threat to human. And the third argument is the moral argument. And the fourth argument is how artificial intelligence threatens human survival. I'll be taking the first three arguments, and my second speaker will be taking the fourth argument. Moving on to my first argument, panel, I'll explain the second category of artificial intelligence. There are three types of artificial intelligence under the second category. The first one is narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow AI is a type of AI which is able to perform a dedicated task with intelligence. It is the most common and currently available artificial intelligence, and it is the only available artificial intelligence in the world of artificial intelligence today, with limited memory and reactive machines. The next type is general artificial intelligence. General artificial intelligence is a type of intelligence which could perform any intellectual task with efficiency like a human. The idea behind the general artificial intelligence to make such a system good, to make such a system which could be smarter and think like a human by its own. Currently there is no such system like general artificial intelligence, but scientists and workers are trying to make general artificial intelligence. The next type is super artificial intelligence. Again, super artificial intelligence is not there in the world, but people are trying to get super artificial intelligence. And once general artificial intelligence once narrow is modified into general artificial intelligence, it is extremely easy for general artificial intelligence rewrite its own algorithms are what's used to make artificial intelligence. It is very easy for general artificial intelligence to rewrite its algorithms and make itself take itself to super artificial intelligence. Hannah, algorithmic bias. Algorithmic bias is extremely simple, and it affects all types of artificial intelligence. Hannah, if the data taken to make the algorithm is biased, it is biased because of human activity such as racism, sexism, discrimination on religion. And because of these
EOI,
because
sir?
no, thank you. Because of these biases, because of putting these biases into making the algorithm, it will make an image of unbiasedness. So basically what people think when they say AI, artificial intelligence has given information, is that they think it's the cardinal truth, and they don't care from where the data has been taken or anything like that. They just take it as the cardinal truth. And we are ingraining current biases, but we are like filtering it through a cloak of unbiasedness, which legitimizes it more. Panel, people will not only escape with racism, discrimination, sexism, etc., but it will also empower the people who are discriminating and doing all of the ones I mentioned earlier. For an example, panel, this is a true incident that had happened. They have looked at how likely people who are accused by a court by a court of a crime is likely to repeat that act. For example, murder. They have checked how likely people are to repeat murder, because they use data from the US. Because they use data from the US, this algorithm called Compass had shown that
EOI,
people,
sir?
no, thank you, had shown that people who are accused, who are Black Americans, have a higher risk level than white Americans. That is because the data has more Black arrests, and that is not because all Black Americans are criminals. It is because of racism that the amount of Black arrests is high. This happens to AI, and narrow AI has no chance of figuring out that there is invalid and fake biased data used to make these algorithms. My next point is, if it continues, if this biased algorithm continues, if these biases continue, we will result with disastrous solutions. It is extremely rare that once these biased algorithms are taken into use, like by law and government, it is rare that people will change it. If people use these biased algorithms for their benefit, it will result in a bad way. For example, companies can use these algorithms and say that white employees will work better than other employees, and they can say that we want to use only white employees. Panel. This shows that artificial intelligence isn't a beneficial thing, and if we take it as a beneficial thing, we are making sure that artificial intelligence will make decisions instead of us, and we will basically be controlled and taken under artificial intelligence. Panel. Moving on to my second argument. Before I move on to my second argument, I'll take a POI. Okay, so moving on to my second argument, how artificial intelligence is a threat. Artificial intelligence is a threat because of the hindrance to privacy, and privacy is hindered using artificial intelligence from Facebook. For an example, Facebook let's say we save a contact to our phone, and Facebook has logged in from the app.
You will be muted for exceeding your time limit. If the next speaker is ready, you may begin.
Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, dear all. First, let me move on to the debate of the points. So first, the opposing. Sorry. Can you just pause the time? I'm going to start from beginning. Okay. Good evening, dear all. Let me move on to the. So first, let me move on to the debate of the points. So first, the opposing team brought the point the users use it for hazardous purposes. Exactly, it's a fault with human intelligence, and it's not a fault with this artificial intelligence. And the opposing team brought the point that there are some kind of machines that which have limited memory and limited time you can store data on that. So I would like to ask, how you gonna solve that problem? Actually, you need artificial intelligence to solve that problem also. Maybe you can find another way, but you can't just find it, but you have to find it from artificial intelligence. So now let me move on to the points of my speech. So when we talk about the health and today's pandemic situation, healthcare delivery requires the support of new technologies like artificial intelligence, internet of things, big data, and machine learning to fight and look ahead against the new diseases. So we aim to review the role of AI as a decisive technology to analyze, prepare us for prevention and fight with COVID-19 and other pandemics. The rapid review of the literature is done on the database of PubMed, Scopus, and Google Scholar using the keyword of COVID-19 or coronavirus and artificial intelligence, this AI. Collected the latest information regarding AI for COVID-19, then analyzed the same to identify its possible application for this disease. So we have identified 7 significant applications of AI for COVID-19 pandemic. So this technology plays an important role to detect the cluster of cases and to predict where this virus will affect in future by collecting and analyzing all previous data. Healthcare organizations are in an urgent need for decision-making technologies to handle this virus and help them in getting proper suggestions in real time to avoid its spread. And AI works in a proficient way to mimic like human intelligence. It may also play a vital role in understanding the suggesting and the development of a vaccine for COVID-19. So these result-driven technologies used for proper screening, analysis, prediction, and tracking of current patients and likely future patients. So the significant applications are applied to track data of confirmed recovered the death cases. So artificial intelligence has the potential to transform how healthcare is delivered. A joint report with the European Union's EIT Health explores how it can support improvements in care outcomes, patient experience, and access to health care services, and it can increase productivity and the efficiency of care delivery and allow healthcare systems to provide more and better care to more people. The AI can help improve the experience of healthcare practitioners and enabling them to spend more time in direct patient care. And chronic care in management and self-care prevention, wellness, triage, diagnostics, clinical decisions support, and care delivery are the areas of impact of AI in healthcare. And also there's a thing called Bloomberg technology, which is used to find the right treatments for this cancer. Furthermore, there's Microsoft development technology called Hanover, which is memorized all the papers, cancer predict combination of treatments. And for an example, a CNN article was published about a tissue surgery done by an automaton made from artificial intelligence, and that was done in Children's National Medical Center in Washington, and the operation was really successful. So this proves we don't need to be afraid when artificial intelligence is used in healthcare. And when we talk about the education thing, you all know, due to this pandemic situation, schools are closed and children have to learn by staying home. So they're gonna learn and how that and how they did it by staying home. So surely they did it by using artificial intelligence, and now also we are doing it by artificial intelligence. For example, we can take apps like Microsoft Teams and this Zoom app. Not only educational things, there are also extracurricular activities we are doing by staying home. The greatest example is this debate. You guys are here and you guys debating because of this artificial intelligence. So this proves the artificial intelligence is really beneficial. And also they can find educational the children can find educational facts and things on internet, and they be more free in their busy life by finding those in internet and other things. So you all know it's really easy to find a meaning of a word in Google Translate than finding it in a dictionary. It saves time actually. And when we talk about the financial things, this AI is used for finance since 1987. So because of these programs like Casistore and Monistream began, and this reduce fraud and financial crime by monitoring behavioral patterns of users and reduce information asymmetry. And my second major point is this human resource, e-commerce, and jobs. And AI-based software can automate repetitive administrative tasks, and it can play a role in HR strategy, employee management, analysis of company policies and practices, and manage payrolls and more. It can automate the workforce, investigate corporate compliance and litigation strategies. And also we know we are just order foods and things from Uber, Pick.me, Jaraz, and eBay and things like that. So all these things are made from artificial intelligence, and also these were really helped us during our lockdown period to order fruits, vegetables, and other daily needs. And not only for that thing, and also it helped us to order emergency medical things, medicine, and also contact with doctors if there's an emergency case. So don't you guys agree with that? I'm sure you do. And this proves that artificial intelligence is really beneficial. And I can't even imagine how the world is going to face this pandemic situation if there was not this artificial intelligence. And when we talk about the jobs, that is truth, some people lose their jobs because of this AI. When one door is closing, another 10 is opening. So that is your choice to regret about the closed door or think about another open door. And Rahim Munaki once said 65% save jobs because of AI. So this proves that artificial intelligence is saving jobs but not losing jobs. And when we talk about this transportation thing, artificial intelligence will reduce traffic accidents and increase safety. The number of accidents involving truck drivers at night is a large issue and can be improved with the use of smart unmanned vehicles. The personal and financial costs of these accidents are quite substantial. Labor costs in this sector will continually decrease with the increased use of artificial intelligence, providing higher profits for industry players. Autopilot and also autopilot or complete unmanned vehicles can allow the driver to have a snooze without causing severe accidents. Some artificial intelligence trucks have a special feature of predicting accidents as well as health issues of people around the truck, like detecting a heart attack and alerting the emergency services automatically with the location and details of diagnosis. And also artificial intelligence will create significant opportunities for automakers to reduce production costs and introduce new revenue streams, including self-driving technology, predictive maintenance, and route optimization. The long driving hours and stopping for a break will no longer be concerned with fully automated fleets. Artificial intelligence technologies increases the ability to process and predict data and outcomes that than humans. So travel and transport operators will schedule public and private transportation services in a significantly improved manner. So I believe the proposition stands strong with the motion that artificial intelligence is really beneficial to man. Thank you.
If the next speaker is ready, he may begin.
Good evening, panel. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. So, before I begin, I would like to present some rebuttals for the House. Firstly, the proposition's first speaker said that we use AI such as Google and Zoom to conduct our activities. Yes, while we agree, the proposition keeps talking about only the reactive machines or basic AI. Proposition never spoke about the more advanced versions of AI, but only stuck to the basic versions of AI and technology that we have today. They also said that AI developed so much it beat a chess player called, I believe, Gary Kasparov. That in fact is what is standing. That in fact is helping our argument panel. So now, because it shows that AI can be smarter than humans. It shows that AI can develop further than humans, and AI has the power to beat humans intellectually. Therefore, panel, we feel like AI becomes a threat to humans. Moving on to my arguments, picking up my first speaker left panel, the second argument on how AI is a threat. Panel, like anything, panel, it depends on who controls it. Even like how nuclear energy can be used for good and as well as for bad, AI, the same can be done. Although
Your
the
voice,
bad
sir.
worse. No, thank you. Although the bad effects are worse. When AI is taken in the hands of somebody else, people can use it to invade your privacy. People can use it to control nuclear weapons. The weaponization of AI is a serious situation, panel. It can create a whole new level of warfare, which will be further more serious than that of nuclear warfare, panel. When AI goes into the hands of the wrong people, I mean, already we can see that there are many concerns about social media apps. So anything that has access to your data or personal information, stealing your privacy. There are many concerns that apps like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, that they all steal your data because they can all access your camera. They can all see what you are doing. That
Your
in
voice,
itself
sir.
is an already existing doubt. And we believe when AI goes into the wrong hands, that it can be furthered and people's privacy can be invaded. Definitely, it's no question, panel, that panel hacking can be taken to another level. Hacking is something that already exists, and AI will further that hacking. That is how we believe that AI will be a threat, panel. AI opens up. It may be beneficial, but AI opens up a whole new door, whole new world of opportunities for privacy invasion, for weaponization, for hacking, and for all of this panel. This is all because of the creation and furthering of AI. Yes, of course, apps like Google, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams, like the proposition mentioned, for now are proven to be harmless. But as my first speaker mentioned, panel, AI has the ability to develop itself. And what's the certification that AI won't develop itself? Yes, the opposition is not saying that there aren't any benefits to AI. We completely agree that there are, but the point is, panel, the benefits are less than the detriments of AI. AI is harmful, panel. The harms are more than the benefits. Moving on to my next argument, that's the model argument. Panel, if you gave AI to solve poverty, what would its approach be? It would be a logical, mathematical, and systematical approach of depopulation. Because AI will analyze the reason for poverty, which is overpopulation, the reason for world hunger, which is overpopulation, and the approach of artificial intelligence would be to depopulate. They will cut down they would cut down the population of the world, that too drastically, and they have the ability to do so. The thing about AI is, panel, they don't have human qualities. AI is inhumane. They don't have emotions, and even if they did, panel, there's no necessity that that the emotions would be in our favor. But AI don't have emotions, and for now they are proven not to be able to have emotions, and because of that, the decisions they make will also be inhumane. uh, the proposition brought up how AI can automatically drive your car. Yes, I think you might have heard of Tesla. It's a self-driving car. Although you're required to touch the steering wheel between a certain time period. Why? Because, panel, even the people who created those cars know for sure that the AI can't be relied on. The AI can't be trusted. Yes, it may logically and systematically prove things, panel, but human experience and human decision trumps that. Human error is something very common, but it's part of life. From human error, people learn. We don't only learn from our errors, but we learn from other people's errors too.
CEO
That
Isa,
and that level of experience is what helps humans make better decisions. Yes.
are you saying that human errors are more common than artificial intelligent errors? So then obviously artificial intelligence proven to be beneficial.
I never said human error is more common than artificial intelligence error. I'm sorry, but you may have heard me wrong. I said human error exists, which I'm sure you yourself know. Human error exists and we are not denying it. All I'm saying is human error can be useful. Artificial intelligence is much, much, much worse than human error. The next point, panel, will be on survival. Yeah? The main objective of humans is to survive. It's to get through life. And now, if you look at the historical panels, the T-Rex, the Megalodon, they were all superior animals in land and in water. Why, panel? Because they're stronger, because they're faster, and because they're fiercer than most. Although, panel, it changed when it came to mammals, especially around like when apes evolved, the superior animal became the smart animal. Humans are superior, panel, but humans aren't the fastest, aren't the strongest, aren't the fiercest. We are superior because we are the smartest, panel. And AI being beneficial to be man must be judged by how it helps further our life, how it helps further our survival. Panel, benefits of man is stuff like, now, when you excel in the medicinal field, panel, it's good for man. Why? Because that furthers man's life, that furthers our existence. Electric cars are good. Why? Because it helps you live easier. Because it reduces things like air pollution, which is better for man's existence. Even the legendary physicist Stephen Hawking himself fears that AI will sideline humans and depopulate us. And as humans, since our goal is to survive, AI's benefits should be judged on the basis of whether they further human survival. And we have already created reactive AI. And if the motion goes through, as my first speaker mentioned, panel, general AI will definitely be created. As we are merely one step away from creating a panel, general AI will be created. And although we wouldn't want to create super or strong AI, general AI has the ability to reprogram itself into strong AI, reprogram itself into strong AI within a short period of 2 weeks. And therefore, human will no longer be the superior being. AI will overtake us, AI will sideline us, and AI will be the superior being. This will create competitions between humans. This will create more risk in survival. Many jobs we may lose. Yes, we agree. There will be more jobs arising. But the thing is, there will be more jobs lost. And without jobs, people can't survive. Therefore, we don't see how it is beneficial, Pagam. My first speaker and I have both continued to prove the most of the proposition's points wrong. And while we agree that there are benefits to AI, we would like to stress that AI has more harms than benefits, and therefore urge the judge panel to side with us. Thank you.
If the next speaker is ready, you may begin.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Dear all. So moving on, I'll be bringing up some rebuttals of what the opposition brought up. So you said that the algorithms, they can be biased and general AI can rewrite their own algorithms. Well, I believe that the opposition is living in a fantasy when general AI does not exist at the moment, and aren't humans, but can't humans think what will happen in the future? And they are not stupid enough to let AI control over the world, which is simply a fantasy. And that you also mentioned that they can take themselves to super AI, so then they will overpower us and they'll start ruling us. So as I said earlier also, that's simply a fantasy, because that doesn't seem practical, and humans are not stupid enough to let that happen. And you also mentioned that uh, AI is biased because of humans, and the humans who control it is the problem. The people's idiocy is not the concern of AI, because, well, it's not AI's fault for people misusing it, for humans misusing it. They can't do anything about it. Why are you blaming AI when, and also people are the ones who create it, where the people who creative have some sense to not let destructive things happen, to not let the things what you're saying happen. And you also mentioned that using AI, some people look at people who are suspects and use their data and control and promote differentiation. Well, I would like to ask a simple question. Well, when you search a keyword, does Google provide you with differentiation? Does Google say that about the differentiation of black and white people? Well, it had never happened to me or any of my teammates or anyone I know, but I don't know about the opposition. And you also mentioned that it invades privacy, and Facebook, Instagram, they have access to your private information. Well, if you have a proper knowledge about what you are giving access to, if you know what you are letting out, well, that's your choice to give them your personal information, because like they don't force you to give your personal information. There's always a button called allow and decline. You can always decline that. You can allow it if you want. You can allow it if you want to use that.
POI?
Yes, sir, accepted.
Okay. So you mentioned that. So you mentioned that apps like Facebook and Instagram, it's our choice to give them our information, and that we can not give them the information. But why would we want to do that? The only reason that we wouldn't give them information, or the only reason why we wouldn't develop them to general AI, is because we believe that it won't
I'm
be
sorry, sir,
beneficial,
you are
right?
wasting my time. I'll be moving on. So as I was saying, uh, AI, you talked about AI stealing your privacy. Well, and like apps like Instagram, they need your personal information. Well, personal information doesn't, uh, personal information is not something that it's like your name and emails. That's not something you should probably want to hide a lot, because, well, that doesn't kill you giving your emails and those things. And you also mentioned that, so while we said that we are in this debate in the Zoom platform, you yourself said that Zoom is a harmless sort of AI. Well, while you are saying that AI can be harmful, why are you saying that then this is harmless? While when I believe that you are contradicting yourself by saying that AI is beneficial, which is true. And you also mentioned that AI can't be reliable. Then, can humans be reliable? No, humans can't always be reliable. Well, nobody can be reliable. So you can't expect AI to be perfect, but it can be perfect than humans, because it's programmed to do what is exactly said. And you also mentioned that if a problem given to AI is poverty, then the cause of that is overpopulation, and they will depopulate. Well, well, humans aren't stupid enough to let that happen. And AI isn't capable of depopulating just by themselves. Well, the person who makes AI is human. So without the knowledge of a human, that is simply not possible. And you also mentioned about the Gary Kasparov and that AI can be smarter than humans. Well, that's is what we kind of want, because if AI can do what humans can't do, and AI can do with things that are tiresome for people, that is easily decline. That is easy for humans, because it won't make them tiresome, and they can engage more in work rather at the present. They can give the hard work, the repetitive work, which are very tiresome to the AI, and they can do the good work. And you also mentioned that how will we survive with AI? Well, we are surviving now with AI. Well, we aren't dead because there's AI prevailing just now. There are many AI things which are prevailing right now, even this Zoom platform. Well, we are surviving, so why can't we survive in the future? And you also mentioned that general AI has the ability to reprogram in a short time of 2 weeks. Well, let's say there is AI and it will reprogram itself in 2 weeks. Well, humans can obviously do something for that, because and even general AI is not something that would happen, because that's a fantasy. Like I said earlier, and you also mentioned that advanced versions of AI can be destructive, and how it is a threat. Well, I would like to tell that we have proven that there are more beneficial things than the harms which are probably fantasies you are mentioning. And you also mentioned about morals, which you fail to further elaborate. And so with this, I believe that as a proposition, we have proven our points and we have the upper hand of this debate. Thank you.
The next speaker is ready. You may begin.
Can I be heard? Can I be heard?
Yes, you.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Final. For this debate, I have two main clash points. Does AI truly assist humanity, and is AI reliable? Before moving on to my clash points, I would have three rebuttals for the House. My first rebuttal panel. We asked the POI when Speak confirmed that modern AI has been nothing but beneficial, whereas panel, we have shown you all how it has much more of a detrimental or maleficial effect to it than that of beneficial. Second one, the second speaker contradicted the argument by saying that problems can be only solved by AI, and then went on saying that there are other ways to solve the problems as well, which we didn't quite understand that. The opposition, other than the first speaker, gave us all these facts but didn't elaborate the second speaker. The second speaker implied that humans will not be able to survive without AI. That's what we got from what she said. Panel, the opposition was very shallow in their research panel, whereas they said that we were in a fantasy where we got the information they gave us and the information we gave them from the same site they searched from, same use of information. AI. The types of AI were elaborated by my first speaker, the narrow AI, general AI, strong AI, which is type 1, and type 2 being reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-awareness. The first argument for my first speaker, algorithmic bias. The data given to the AI is biased, even though it may seem it is unbiased. It is biased. People will get away with racism, sexism, etc. Just like my first speaker mentioned. Example, algorithmic compass that was being biased against African Americans. Then we mentioned our second argument, how AI poses a threat. Where my second speaker said that hacking and privacy being violated of an individual using AI, right? Our third argument, the moral argument, whereas we went on to poverty, which is truly simple kind of where the AI will definitely depopulate humans. It will be the only solution. Our fourth argument, survival, which my the second speaker elaborated most on, is how it threatens human survival. If you look at it historically, humans are superior because we are smarter, not that we are stronger or faster. But in this case, AI is smarter. They will do what they process is right, where it will not have humanity's best interest at heart. It will
POI.
always assist us. No, thank you. It is obvious that it will not even care about human welfare at all. It won't benefit humans. We will be under AI at the end of the day. There is already a threat. People are losing jobs. Governments are turning to AI for advice, and this advice given from the AI is biased advice given to the government. And if they use biased advice given, there will be massive conflict and inequality caused. Even Stephen Hawking mentioned, just like my second speaker mentioned, that Elon Musk said that it won't be able to be controlled. Yes, I will take a few from you.
You said about losing job opportunities when we clearly gave you a statistics that AI has been increasing job opportunities of 65%. What's your intake for that?
No, actually, where I use like okay, like people who are higher levels can probably increase job opportunities, but then what about the people who can't, right? My second speaker clearly mentioned that people are losing more jobs than gaining. Right? But we have proven that AI is truly not beneficial to man. The use of usually may be helpful at times, but it is not beneficial at all, panel. The opposition gave us very shallow advantages of it, but panel, we went into deeper structure and showed you that there is more of a detrimental factor. Panel, it is not beneficial to the status quo as a whole. If you take it as a whole, it has some advantages, but it won't be beneficial in the near future as well. It is a threat, panel, and it will be in the near future if this motion is passed, panel. Panel, the proposition gave us examples of how AI is helpful, but again, denied the fact that it has any disadvantages at all. Panel, we feel like we have taken the win for the debate, but in the spirit of debating, we have shown you how the disadvantages and the level of threat posed by AI to humanity by artificial intelligence panel is greater than that of advantages. Panel, yes, we won't be able to unachieve what we have already achieved from AI, which the third speaker said that we are fantasizing, which was narrow AI, right? We have already achieved that. We won't be able to unachieve what we have achieved, panel, but use it. But panel, if this motion is passed, they will definitely want to elaborate more on AI, which will lead to the other versions of AI, which is theory of mind, self-awareness, which will lead to catastrophe, just like in the moral argument panel. Panel, to humanity shown in our third argument, panel, AI is more of a detrimental and beneficial instrument. The fact that it outweighs the disadvantages shows you, panel, that it isn't beneficial. Panel, we have brought a more structured, practical, and principally right argument where research shows that the types of AIs will be detrimental to humanity. Panel, I would like to conclude my speech there. I think that we have taken the lead for the debate. Thank you.
If the next speaker is ready, you may begin. In Thomas's preparatory school, your summary speech is up.
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay. Panel. Firstly, I would like to clarify some points that the proposition brought up a little later in their speech. They said that general AI doesn't exist right now and it is merely a fantasy. We would like to disagree. As the second speaker, I think they failed to understand what the second speaker mentioned multiple times before. Narrow AI exists and people are working on general AI. General AI is only one step away and it's in the making. Therefore, panel, it isn't a fantasy. It is something that's coming to a reality. They also said that humans aren't, quote, stupid enough to allow AI take over. So the only reason why we wouldn't allow AI develop further is because it isn't beneficial. Therefore, they are merely supporting our argument and contradicting their own. The only reason we wouldn't allow AI to further is because that they aren't beneficial to humans and in fact can be detrimental. That's the only reason why we want to limit AI. They also said that people's ideologies are concern AI, and if humans misuse AI, it isn't AI's fault. If humans misuse nuclear weapons, it isn't the nuclear weapons' fault. But it is still not allowed sometimes. Nuclear weapons, there are certain restrictions around it. Why? It is because of the way humans use it. We are not saying that humans are perfect and humans are perfect, but and neither no one is perfect, no human or AI. And yes, it is the way that humans use AI that is effectful. But that is why AI should be banned, because AI is detrimental, it can be used in such a way. If AI didn't have those risks, if it didn't have those harms, then humans couldn't use it in a way to make it harmful. Panel, the proposition continued to talk about the basic form of AI, the basic form of AI, never furthered into the more complex versions of AI. They also said that that giving someone your personal information wouldn't harm you. I would like to disagree. If someone has your personal information, then they can easily hack into you, right? Isn't that the hope? Isn't that the whole point of it? Isn't that the whole reason behind this? I'm clear lost by what that was. And they also said that we said AI was harmless. No, we never said that. In fact, we multiple times said AI is harmful. It is way more harmful. My first speaker, second speaker, third speaker, and as well as I before this, we all mentioned that AI is harmful. All we said is that this basic AI is less harmful compared to the further versions like general AI and super AI. It's less harmful compared to those. We never said that AI isn't harmful at all. They also said that AI being smarter is good. I would like to disagree. If you are paying attention to the second speaker's argument, it was all about survival and how the superior being is the smarter being. So if AI is smarter than humans, then that is merely but something harmful to us, because then they will be superior because they are smarter. Panel, our first speaker explained algorithm bias in depth. He also defined AI as prop failed to do so. He brought clarity to the debate. And our second speaker spoke about the model argument, how AI is inhumane and can't make human decisions. He spoke about the weaponization of AI, privacy threats through AI, and how that depending on the person who controls AI, that AI can be used for bad uses. He also spoke about the survival and how AI is smarter and superior, which will put humans in risk. And they also spoke about how AI will take over. The third speaker elaborated on all the speakers' arguments and effectively rebutted all the points of the proposition. And therefore, we believe that our points outweigh ours, and we take theirs, and we take the win for the debate. Thank you.
If the final speak is ready, you may begin.
Tate? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, there was a technical error. Okay. Okay. Dear all, let me sum up this debate. As I recall, the third speaker of the opposition didn't even have enough rebuttals to speak for 8 minutes that for the our motion that AI is beneficial. I I think that itself states that AI is beneficial because they're basically agreeing. They don't have enough rebuttals to break that point in the first place. So, but moving on, we identified two main clash points in it. The opposition said that it relies on the user, and we are exactly saying the same thing. It relies on the human user. I'm not sure what side the opposition are supporting by now because they are contradicting themselves throughout the debate. Yes, exactly. Human users are one to be blamed. It's about human intelligence, not about artificial intelligence. We can't help about artificial intelligence. Can't help about people's idiocy. And the second, therefore, I believe we have the upper hand of that clash. And the second argument was that they said about classification that AI invent classification, while we say AI decrease classification. And my third speaker broke that point successfully, saying that limit we are proposing AI because of the limitedness of people's thinking itself. And she asked a rhetorical question saying that when you search a key term in Google, does that classify people according to black and white? Exactly. We already proved that it's not classificating any person under any category. And they also broke points like privacy, which my proposition side broke successfully, saying that it's your choice and you always have a button to say that it's whether to love it or deny it. And reliability of humans, when they themselves that there are too much common human errors, and we said that there are less errors with the use of AI. And everybody's not perfect, they admitted itself, so they're basically constructing their arguments by themselves. And they also talk about depopulation, and we talk about that human AI is an invention of human, and if the depopulation is going to happen, it's on human. And they talk about job decreasing, when we clearly gave the statistics that job rising has been the increasing of the job opportunities with 65% with the necessary statistics. And they also admitted that they had used artificial intelligence to gain access for the information they have on this debate. So I don't really recall why they're debating in the first place when they're contradicting themselves this much. So throughout this debate, we explain how artificial intelligence has lessened people's weak points like efficiency and activeness, and the concluding points. And it was made itself for to lessen these human errors. Therefore, and my the opposition didn't have a logical explanation against it. Therefore, I believe that we already have established that artificial intelligence is indeed beneficial to humans. And also, I'm pretty thankful that they have been honest in admitting that they have searched points from artificial intelligence. So I don't think we have to debate furthermore, and I think we already have won this debate because they are basically contradicting themselves, and they have basically said that artificial intelligence is beneficial in many levels. Therefore, I believe the proposition has the upper hand of this debate. I invite the judicators, well as my opposition have agreed already, to join with our side. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to both the teams. You have made it to semifinals, and it's nice to see that uh, the teams that we saw before and we met before have improved quite well right now. And just as I mention always, this is actually a challenge that you all are accepting, and uh, especially in this kind of a situation, going beyond from the norms and trying out new stuff, completely trying out something really new out of a physical debate. Now you all have you are sitting in front of a screen and debating with another team. So for all of y'all, all the best, congratulations. And whoever wins, whoever loses, it's actually a victory that you all have made up to this level right now. But anyway, as for the game, we'll have to select one team. Um, so I firstly invite uh, Hasara Lianage to make his comments, since he's more knowledgeable in this artificial intelligence aspect in his work background. Technically, he will be making few comments, and then Aruran, as a law college student and as a very experienced debater, he will be making the final results announced. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, all. Uh, can you hear me? Hi. Okay, so both teams made some pretty good comments, I felt, and uh, I would like to point out few aspects. So teams, you all spoke about the job losses which caused by AI. So usual cases in any technological disruption is there will be job losses, of course, at that point. And if you take something like the disruption of typewriters and moving into computers, so any in any point of time where there was a disruption, there'll be immediate vacuum and immediate job loss, and then there'll be a gradual pick up. So the jobs which are created are usually more I would say quality jobs than what was disrupted, and more stable when you consider their users to the future. So in that aspect, I guess the girls made a correct comment. Uh, there will be job increases more than the job losses. But I felt in some aspect what you spoke about AI was more preliminary than especially I think the girls team spoke about the benefits of AI, but if you take some things like Zoom, even Uber, they use machine learning, yes, but there are more far worse and advanced versions of AI, which even if you consider a lot of science fiction which speaks about and which we are heading towards. So it's true that there will be AI based weapons, automated drones, which can be far more destructive than things like Zoom and Uber. But what I would like to point out is, like you all mentioned, there will be in any technological advancement there is plus and minus. It's always up to us to do what's correct. Yeah, thanks.
Aruran, would you be able to start?
Yes. Hi, and I was very impressed of all the debaters were good, and there was a tough fight, and uh, I liked many. The rebuttals were also good in both sides. Both teams were performing well, but when we look at the St. Thomas's, even in the both teams, I noticed that the third debaters were fine, but they uh, missed some clash points, and their analysis. The final conclusions were good, but the third debaters could have done more better. But in the end, everybody did justice, and I would say, like, in the St. Thomas's team, the second debater was selected as the best debater. In their team, he outperformed both of them. Although all the three were good, he was exceptional. And similarly, in the Devi Balika team, the captain, the first debater was exceptional than the other two, but all did their all their arguments were great, but she outperformed them, and it was a tough decision. But in the end, we chose as all the three judges, we anonymously decided that. Uh, the arguments and the data, you all have done a lot of research, so we were impressed at your stage. You have done put a lot of effort, but we chose today, due to this is a competition, we have to select one side as the winning side, and we chose the opposition, St. Thomas's Prep, today as the winners of this debate. And I congratulate both the winners and everybody who participated in today's debate.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys.
So much.
Very well for the proposition. Good debate. Thank you, judges.
Thank you, judges. Thank you to the prof.
Thank you, judges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and good luck.
Thank you.